What's up traders, my name is Kenta, and in today's video we're going to talk about 5 tips that you can apply to your trading today to become a better trader in 2023. So let's get into it. Okay, before we get started, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out and it only takes you a few seconds. You did it? Okay, great. So tip number 1. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Now, you probably heard this before, but there's a reason for that. When you have a market that has momentum and is pushing forward, it takes a lot to stop momentum, okay? So for you to try to catch a reversal against that momentum is just against your probabilities of actually winning the trade. Now, would you try to jump in front of a moving train? Would you try to catch a skydiver in free fall? Probably not. So this is the same with trading. If you have a market that's pushing forward aggressively, don't just try to catch a move in the opposite direction. Now, if you're doing this now, don't feel bad. I did this a bunch when I first started trading. I didn't know any better. You probably don't know any better if you're still doing this. But if you don't know what this looks like, I'm going to show you an example right now. All right, guys. So this is a chart of NAS 100. And just as an example, this was towards the end of the session today. I'm in West Coast time, so around 1 p.m. We had some volume kick into the markets, okay? And we had this huge bullish move up in a 1-minute candle. And then in another 1-minute candle, we had a huge bearish push down, okay? Now, we are on a uptrend on the higher time frames. So by that logic, maybe you decide that you wanted to get into a long position here, okay? And hopefully you're using a stop loss, and maybe you put your stop loss under this exhaustion wick here, and you're aiming for a 3-to-1. Now, mind you, like I said, you just saw this huge bearish momentum candle. But let's just say you decide you wanted to get in. Okay, so another minute, we have a little volatility. We're in the green. And then the next minute, we are getting close to hitting our stop loss. And then, boom, the next minute, we had a huge push downward. And hopefully you had a stop loss. But let's just say you didn't have a stop loss. Now you're down. Let's just say you risked 1%. Now you're down 3% on your account. Okay, and if you don't have a stop loss and you're just watching this thing, hoping that it comes up, next thing you know, we're way down, and maybe we're down, 7-8% on your account. Okay, maybe you blew your account. Who knows? All right, so don't feel bad if you're doing this right now. I did this when I was first starting to trade. I don't know what it is about human nature that makes us want to catch those super sniper entries. It's really like, I like to call it the sniper entry symptom, where you're trying to catch that like perfect trade, and especially when you don't realize that when you see something like this huge momentum candle, it usually indicates that it wants to continue in that direction. Now, there might be some minor, pullbacks or retracements, but generally speaking, when you see something with, that much momentum, it wants to generally continue in that direction, okay? So don't try to catch a falling knife. Now, tip number 2, don't add to losing trades. Oh my God, this one really gets under my skin, man, for real, because not only have I lost money doing that, but I've blown accounts. I've lost funding challenges. Oh my God. So the reason why you don't want to add to losing trades, especially if you don't have a plan when you're doing it, is because now not only are you in a position that's going against you, but now you're adding another position, and that position is going against you. And then, let's say you add another position, now that position is going against you, and all along, every single position that you enter is going to compound and start to build more and more loss on your account. And oh my God, I'm just, please do not add to losing trades, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. If you are, have a trading plan and that is part of your plan and you have, certain risk management in place to control that, then by all means. But if you're a beginner at trading, just don't add to losing trades. Add one position, have a stop loss, have a plan, let it hit your stop loss, take a breather if that happens. Just don't add to losing trades. Now let me show you a quick example of what that looks like. Okay guys, you know where this is going, but let me just show you an example. Same chart from today. Okay, now you probably you already have this in your mind, but let's just go for it. Okay, so let's just say we are, pushing up forward and we're like, all right, cool. We're in a bullish trend. All right. So I'm going to look for a pullback, and I'm going to maybe get in a position once I get into this zone here. Okay. So it just pushed down. Great. We're in a great place to enter. So I'm going to enter a trade here with maybe my stops below here, 3-1. All right, great. So what do we got? Oh my God, our stop loss was hit. Okay, well, let me just see. Oh, we're pushing down. We're pushing down, guys. Okay, great. Okay, this looks great. So maybe I will enter a position here, and this one's for sure gonna make up for my loss there. Another 3-1. All right, so oh my gosh, now we're okay. Maybe we have some hope here. Maybe we have some hope. Stop loss hit again. Are you kidding me? Okay, that's okay. Okay, now we're really getting into. Oh, perfect. Let's get in here because that should be. We should definitely bounce off this area here. So let me just enter there. I'm gonna put my stops down below here. Looks like a good spot, and another 3-1. All right. So, oh my God, are you kidding me? Now imagine you weren't using a stop loss. Okay, like now let's just imagine for a moment, like hopefully this is the best way that it could play out, but let's just say that you didn't have a stop loss and every single one of these positions is still in a loss. At some point you're going to, maybe you're going to cut your losses here and you're going to say, man, I just lost, I don't know, 10, 15% or whatever the case may be. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully your risk management is on point. But you get my drift here, okay? So when you have something dropping like this, let's just say, for whatever reason you did enter this first trade and you took that loss. Man, take a step back, take a step away from your desk, digest the loss, and get ready for another trade. Maybe it's not even today. Maybe it's not tomorrow. Maybe it's another day. But, you want to take time after you take a loss and figure out, okay, what did I do wrong here? In this case, obviously, we had some bearish momentum and it just kept pushing. So don't add to losing trades. Okay, so tip number 3, set stops to break even. Now, I might have some traders that disagree on this one with me, but hear me out. Okay, so if you have a plan for setting your stops to break even, now when I say that, I don't mean just enter a trade, it immediately goes in your directions and you set your stop loss. That might be the case for some people, but for me, I usually set my stops at break even at 1R. Okay, but let's just say I set my stops to break even at 1R and then the trade goes against me and I've already set my my stop loss to break even. Even if it hits my stop loss, I didn't lose any money. Maybe like a little bit, but I didn't lose a lot of money. I didn't lose that percentage that I was risking initially. Okay, and if that happens, I can always enter another trade. There's nothing wrong with your stop loss hitting your break even and just looking for your setup again and entering again. Okay, now, like I said, some might disagree with me here. There might be situations where, it just dips back into your stop loss and then projects back out into the direction that you were trying to get it. I get that. But the worst case scenario is that you just, you basically lose nothing, and you can always re-enter the trade. All right, so let me show you an example of what that looks like. All right, guys, so we're still on the same chart here, NASDAQ 100. We had that huge push to the downside, and something that I look for when catching reversals is 3 touches on a trend line. That's something that I look for. Little sauce there. And so, okay, we got 1, 2, 3 touches on the trend line, right? And that doesn't mean enter immediately, okay? We're still pushing downward. We want to look for some signs of bullishness. We got a little bit of a push here, strong bearish, and then immediately rejected back up above that trend line. We got another push down, and okay, there we go. We got a nice push to the upside. Maybe I decide that I want to enter here, okay, and I have maybe my stops below this wick here, aiming for 3 to 1. Okay, now we got a nice little push up, Now let's just say, hear me out, this is not how I would do it, okay? Maybe in a certain scenario, but let's just say I decide I want to put my stops to break even here. All right, now oh my gosh, we had a huge bearish push to the downside right after that, but as you can see, it would have hit our stop loss. We might have caught a little slippage and lost a little bit, but it wouldn't have been the risk, right? And also we never hit there. So let's just say, you know, we took that we got stopped out. We're looking at it. Oh, now we're pushing back up. Okay. So let's just say, you know, I decide to re-enter here. Okay. Same risk. I'm going to put it below the wick here, and I'm going to aim for a 3 to 1. All right. Now let's see what happens here. We had a nice push. Okay. At this point, I would have already set my stop to break even. Okay. So now we are in a risk-free trade. And as you can see, TP smashed. All right. So tip number 3, set your stops to break even. Tip number 4, know when to add size. All right. Now, not all trades are made equal. You got your A setups, you got your B setups, you got your C setups. Now, hopefully you're only taking your A plus setups, but let's just say you got an itch and you want to take a B setup, all right? And then let's say your A plus setups, you risk 1%, all right? And this B setup, you want to risk 0.5% because you don't have as much confidence in it. And let's say you found yourself a C setup and you really got that itch and you want to take that trade, right? Don't take the same amount of risk as that one. Maybe take a 0.25% risk because the probabilities just aren't in your favor as much as it would be if you took your A plus setup. All right. Now, like I said, I recommend finding your A plus setups and sticking with those, but know when to add size. Tip number 5, trade with the trend. The trend is your friend, my guy. And honestly, it's true. When you trade with the trend, your probabilities are higher, okay? And let's just say you were taking a trade against the trend and you lost, and versus you took a trade with the trend and you lost. At least when you trade with the trend, you know that you were going in the right direction, okay? And maybe you just need to adjust a few things, maybe your stop loss, maybe your entry, but those things you can work on, but at least you know you were going in the right direction, okay? Now, how do you trade with the trend? Well, you got to understand the higher time frames, okay? You got to understand basic market structure, maybe some fundamentals. And if you want to understand some basic market structure and higher time frame analysis, well, I have a video at the end of this one that you can go check out right away. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, smash the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. This was my 5 tips to become a more consistently profitable trader in 2023, and I hope that you can use it to apply it today to become a more consistently profitable trader. I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. Be successful, trade well, be consistent, stay disciplined, and hope you guys are killing it out there. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.